you tell I'm in denial?
You can't stay at the top forever.
I was also very surprised when I looked at my phone and saw Joe Girardi dismissed.
Well, I think mine were with common sense.
I think now belongs in the all-time greats top 10.
Boston, I really think only got to this point because of a guy named Chris Middleton being out for the Bucks.
That power play just was unbearable. It was humming.
Man, am I happy. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew he was going to come back.
When I think of New York Yankees now is Judge, probably people in the past when Jeter was coming up.
I would be shocked. A little bit hurt.
Hey, this is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, TexasFootball.com, and Valley Sports Southwest. You are listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. Austin and I are recording the day after some wild game ones and from, I would say, the favorites in both the West and East. The Celtics and Thunder lost their game ones after having significant leads, I would say, Austin.
Yeah, this is the fact that both of them lost in the fashion that they did. One 14-point lead lost by the Thunder, one 20-point lead lost by the Celtics. Does either of those, we'll just start off with the question on the video. Does this make you worried at all going into these next couple games or no?
No, I don't really think so. I'm not worried about the Celtics because I think they missed historically 45 three-pointers. They were up by 20. I view them, I think they're just good wins, but I don't see that swaying the series for the Celtics, Knicks. I can maybe see it with the Thunder because I think Jokic, while I think Brunson is a really good player, I think the Celtics are just such a well-built roster. It doesn't give the superstar or the main player the opportunity to take over a game. In the Thunder Nuggets series, I can see Jokic stealing some games because of just how good he is.
I also think that the experience level of the Thunder is more what I'm worried about. The Thunder have not had many playoff runs. I mean, in Shea's tenure, they went to the playoffs in 2020 and lost in the first round in 7 to the Rockets, which, mind you, also had Russ in it. And then you had the last year where they lost to the Mavericks in the second round. Those are their two playoff losses thus far. Now, if you include this past series against the Grizzlies, they're 2-2 in the Shea era. Even if you don't want to count the first one as Shea era, he was on the team. So, and if you want to count 2-1, it's 2-1, sure. But there's just not that much experience there. And for a young player like Chet, it's harder for him to get over that, in my opinion, because of just when he missed that first one, Kevin, I know you said you weren't watching it necessarily, but I really thought he was missing the second one. When he got up to the line, I thought he was going to make both. But when he missed the first one and the camera panned in on him, I'm like, he's not making this. Like, he does not look confident at all in this shot falling. And it ended up not falling, and that's a big reason why, obviously, they lost. And then the transition, Russ pass to Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon makes a +3. Aaron Gordon shot extremely well from 3. Last playoffs this season and now in the playoffs this year as well. I am a little bit worried about the Thunder because Shea doesn't look like Shea. Sure, he had 33 points in this game, but I don't really know how to explain it. It doesn't look like he's taking initiative. It looks like he's letting the game come to him, which in some factors is good. Like, let the game come to you, sure. But when you're that star player, you got to take it. And Jokic was taking it while Shea was letting the game come to him a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Shea is that guy because he took over a game. I want to say maybe it was like game 4 or I don't remember, but there was a game where he was just knocking down shots. But yeah, I think that's a good point. I didn't see it, but I think Shea is a very good player. I think he's a top player. It's just there are only so many few players that I feel have that. They have that juice, I want to say, that you kind of see of where it's just like Jokic is getting the ball at the end of the game. And can you stop it? And there have been moments where it's mostly against the Lakers where Jokic just makes an incredible play. And then you got to look at the supporting cast. You mentioned Aaron Gordon. He has been fantastic this playoffs in big moments. You mentioned the three-pointer yesterday, but then you also have that dunk against the Clippers.
Sure. And I think it's also important to realize that not every player in the Nuggets is playing insane. I mean, Michael Porter Jr., Kevin, shot 1 for 8 on the game. 1 for 8. And Russ came and played amazing. Jamal Murray played fine, but Alex Caruso had 20 points for the Thunder. Like, if Caruso's giving you 20, you think you're winning by 20. But Jalen Williams struggled. Chet struggled. Hartenstein held Jokic when he guarded him to 3 of 9 from the field. So that's maybe a matchup that you want to try to get. But Jokic was just dominant in the paint. And when he was missing shots, he was getting his own rebound. And people say, well, that just inflates your rebounding stats. But he's still putting up the points. Like, he's still getting the ball and putting it right back in. And I don't know how much I love this matchup. I think people were writing off the Nuggets before these playoffs, including myself, because I had them losing to the Clippers. And the Clippers almost beat them. But the matchup with the Thunder can be scary for the Thunder because they have such young guys. Well, this Nuggets team has been battle-tested, has won in the finals. And the guys that all the guys that they play have either won a finals or it's Russ. I guess they also play Peyton Watson some, and he was on the title team, but he didn't play. But Christian Brown played, MPJ played, Jamal Murray played, Aaron Gordon, all that. But the Thunder don't have that type of pedigree or roster around them, and that's something that could really hurt you at this point of the season.
Yeah, and talking about that as well with the kind of, that's the game where I'm like, I can see this swaying the series because of how good the West is. Where you mentioned Michael Porter Jr. did not play well in game 1, and somehow they won. It's not like this was a close game with Michael Porter Jr. going off, Aaron Gordon going off, Jokic going off. No, and I just don't think you can depend on Michael Porter Jr. if you're the Nuggets. So he could go off, and I'm like, maybe that gives you help in a game because I don't know. Well, I guess you can count on Aaron Gordon. I don't know about Russ.
The good thing about how the Nuggets are built is in Game 7, Christian Brown had a lot of points. Russ had a lot of points. And Jokic only had like 16 points. There's going to be games where everybody kind of goes off in their own ways. Or some players play bad and some players play good. But they are a deep team. And I like how the team's built. They definitely don't have the defense, but they have hustle. Christian Brown's a hustle player with solid defense. Same thing with Aaron Gordon. Same thing with Russ. Same thing with Peyton Watson. And while Jokic is not the best defender in the world, he's such a good rebounder that rebounding is part of defense. Making sure you get a board is part of defense because they don't get a second chance. They're not getting the second chance opportunities that Jokic is creating for himself. So I don't think I'm look, I still think the Thunder end up winning this series, but I have some worry. But going back, let's go to the Celtics really quickly. I have less worry for them, mainly because they've been there and they've done that. They've been to now 3 conference finals, and they've also won a title. So I guess in Jason Tatum, I forgot they went to the conference finals in 2018. That was also, Tatum was on that team. So I guess it's been the 4 conference finals with Tatum on the team. I guess Al Horford was on that team too. So, yeah. But I like how the roster's built. Obviously, it's one of the best rosters depth-wise constructed in the league. But the Knicks definitely still have some grit and tenacity. I know you're not the biggest Brunson lover, but I think that the way the Knicks are built, that they have really good defense with Mikal Bridges and OG. Josh Hart's an amazing rebounder and can play good defense as well. And they have an underrated team. I could see the Knicks winning the series, even though I still think the Celtics end up pulling it out. What were you going to say?
Well, yeah. So, my opinions of Brunson have changed because, I'm no longer a Mavs fan. I think though, from an unbiased, I think he is a very good player. It's just, does he kind of have that killer mentality? I know he hit the game-winning shot to end the Pistons series, but I do agree they're a sneaky team because you do have a lot of good defenders. You have Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart. I kind of view as like a hustle player. It's just I think you're going to be relying a lot, and like Tom Thibodeau likes to shorten his bench. I think they're going to be relying a lot on those players, and I think that's going to take a toll against the Celtics, who have a deep and very talented roster. So that's why I'm not as worried about them. And so that's why I could see it happening. It's just I don't think it's a razor thin line, because I'm going to go back to the Nuggets Thunder series. It's not a razor thin line between the Nuggets and Thunder to me.
But do you think it is between the Knicks and Celtics?
No. Or yeah, I think there's a difference. It's a razor thin line in the West with the Nuggets and Thunder, not a super razor thin line between the Knicks and Celtics. Because to me, for the Knicks to win this series, you're going to have a couple more games where everything goes right, and I don't see that happening.
True, but I think winning game one's one of the more important games of the series. It can happen to where you lose 4 straight afterwards, but it's really rare for that to happen. So by winning game one, you're really making it to where it's at least going to go 6 in almost all cases, especially if you are the away team, because now you have home court advantage. You're going to get 2 games on your home court with the chance of at least tying the series if you lose your first home game and lose this next game. But Brunson's really come to play. I've been excited to watch him, and I'm not worried about either team, Celtics or Thunder, and I think both teams end up winning these series. But it's just the way they lost these games. This Celtics game kind of reminded me of the Pacers game in inverse. You remember the conference finals last year, the Pacers were up by a lot and ended up blowing it terribly in the end. That's kind of what happened in this game. I mean, there was bad turnover after bad turnover. Tatum trying to win the game, hit very clutch shots and missing. Brunson obviously missed the game winner in regulation, but in overtime, I mean, OG was playing amazing, and Mikal hit the really clutch 3. And, I mean, eventually the Celtics just got out-willed. And I do think it's not effort. I don't think effort's the right way to put it, but I do believe that both the Knicks and the Nuggets, at least in game one, looked like they wanted it more.
Yeah, and kind of talking about that, game one is huge, especially for both teams that won, the Knicks and Nuggets, is they were the away team. So you've guaranteed at least a split. You do have the chance to get greedy and go up 2-0, but that's really tough given kind of the level of competition, and it's not as much pressure in game 3. But so kind of displaying that. So we'll have to see. I'm glad it's exciting, but it will be very interesting. And I think there's a lot to notice. And Knicks and Celtics, I'm curious with the coaching matchup. I don't see a major difference. I would say the question and kind of like why people were doubting the Nuggets is it's a rookie head coach basically in a high pressure moment. And then you have Mark Deno for the Thunder, who he went with that decision. He stood by it, but I can see him out coaching the Nuggets coach just because he's not used to that roster.
Yeah, you make a good point. I definitely could see that as well. So but they won all 3 games in the regular season that he coached. They obviously beat the Clippers in a tight series. But I'm excited to see what happens because, I mean, we've seen it in hockey before where coaches get fired and then they go on a run in the postseason. Not really in basketball, though. I can't really think of a good example in basketball. Or I guess the best example would be Tyronn Lue. Because David Blatt was fired in 2016. I don't know if it was before the season or mid-season, though. I think it was mid-season during 2016. And they brought in Tyronn Lue and they ended up winning the championship. But I can't think of many other examples besides that.
Yeah, and it's just so close to the playoffs where I'm like, you're not really giving them time to think of stuff.
That's true. But I mean, when you have Jokic on your team, that's easy.
Like I saw the video of I saw Jokic yelling at the team, and someone's like, "Oh, now Jokic has to do even more. He has to coach them too."
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, it does help when you have a player like Jokic. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens. I'll let you close this one out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know what you guys think about this series. Do you think that either team should be worried, or are you worried as a fan? Thank you again.